Good day everyone. My name is Jacqueline Pilio, and my topic for today is all about the objectives of laboratory method and the characteristic of project method. But before that, let us know what is laboratory method in education. Laboratory method primarily used in science, engineering, and other fields where hands-on experimentation and observation are crucial for understanding concepts and theories. The laboratory approach is essential for a complete science education because it helps students to connect what they learn in class with a real life situation or experiences, and it makes science easier to understand and teaches students how to ask questions, solve problems, and do research. Here are the objectives of the laboratory method. We have number one, promoting experimental learning. Laboratory works provide students with the opportunity to actively engage in experiments, investigation, and practical activities. In here, laboratory works, it allows students to learn by doing. Instead of just reading or listening, they may conduct actual experiments and see how things function for themselves. This also allows children to test ideas and observe the effects, which improves their understanding of the lectures. Number two is we have developing practical skills. Students learn how to use laboratory equipments, tools, and techniques which can be valuable for future scientific and technical careers. In the laboratory, students learn how to use various tools, equipment, and methodologies. This is significant since these abilities will be useful if students choose to work in science or technology in the future. Also, this will help prepare for the students for the real world employment and increasing their confidence and capability in their careers. Number three is fostering critical thinking. Lab activities require students to make observations, analyze data, and draw conclusions. This promotes critical thinking and problem solving. This means that students must observe what occurs in lab activities, analyze data, and draw conclusions. This will enable them to consider things carefully and come up with answers to issues. And it also enhance their critical thinking and problem solving abilities, which are also valuable in both science and in our daily lives. Number four, reinforcing theoretical knowledge. By providing students with hands-on experience, laboratory work reinforces what they learn in the classroom. The students can observe how concepts they have been taught have practical application when they conduct experiments. For example, if they study chemical processes in class, they can actually combine materials and observe the resulting reactions in the laboratory. Students learn more effectively and more readily when they have this practical experience, which also makes the material more engaging. It also demonstrates to them how the theories they read about in books relate to real-world situations. Number five, enhancing understanding of concept. In here, experiments and observations assess students learn complex ideas by demonstrating how things work in real life. When they do experiments, they may directly see the cause and effect correlations, demonstrating how one's event leads to the next. For example, if they study how plants grow, they can conduct an experiment to see how sunlight influences plant growth. In this hands-on approach, makes abstract concept tangible and intelligible, making learning more relatable and clear. Number six, we have improving scientific methodology. Improving scientific methodology entails teaching students how science works step by step. They learn how to guess, conduct experiments to obtain information, and interpret the outcomes. This allows them to test ideas and develop replies in a clear, organized manner. Learning these strategies is essential for conducting scientific inquiry since it helps students solve problems and discover new things. Number 7, we have encouraging collaboration. In here, group experiments will help students develop their collaborative skills. Sharing activities and ideas help them enhance their communication and cooperation abilities, and each person performs a role and they must work together to finish the experiments. This fosters collaboration, which is useful not only in schools but also in future professions or initiatives that requires teamwork. Number 8, developing safety awareness. Lab work teaches students safety protocols and the importance of responsible and safe practices when working with hazardous materials or equipment. So in here, through lab work, students learn how to follow critical safety guidelines. And also they learn how to wear safety gear, handle hazardous chemicals and equipment with caution, and also to follow directions to prevent accidents. This helps students to realize the value of responsibility and keeping themselves and others safe. Number 9, promoting data analysis skills. So, promoting data analysis skills means teaching students how to gather information and make sense of it. This skill is important because it helps students solve problems and make decisions, and also understand patterns. If it is a case skills in many areas like science, technology, and even everyday life. So for example, in science, students might collect data from an experiments and then analyze it to see what the results mean. So understanding data helps them draw conclusions and find answers. So number 10, we have preparation for future research. So laboratory experiences are very important for preparing students for future research and experiments. So when the students do hands-on lab work, they learn the key skills that will help them in schools and their future jobs. So in the laboratory, the students will conduct experiments. They will use scientific tools and also they will analyze the results. So these activities show them how research work in real life. So for example, students who want to be scientists or engineers, so they will gain a useful experience that will help them with more complex projects later on. Number 11, we have enhancing observation skills. So one main goal of the laboratory method is to help students improve their observation skills. So in the laboratory, the students will learn to pay close attention to details and make accurate observations during the experiments. So these skills is very important in science because it helps them notice key changes, the patterns, or the result that can impact their research. So by improving their observation skills, students become better at collecting trustworthy data and making informed conclusions in their future scientific work. Number 12, we have application of knowledge. So laboratory work helps students use what they learn in class in real life situations. So when the students do hands-on experiments, they can see how the ideas they studied actually work. So for example, if they learn about chemical reactions in a textbook, so doing a lab experiments let them see those reactions happen. This make learning more exciting and meaningful. So by applying their knowledge in a laboratory, students not only strengthen their understanding but also build important skills like problem solving and critical thinking. Number 13, we have exploration and discovery. Laboratories encourage students to explore and discover new ideas. So in a lab setting, students have the freedom to investigate topics and ask questions. So for example, when students conduct experiments, so they can modify variables or try different methods. So this hands-on approach allows them to see what works and what doesn't, leading to new insight and a better understanding of the projects or the subject. Number 14, we have assessment and evaluation. So laboratory work is a useful way for teachers to see how well students understand a subject and how they can use it or how they can use what they've learned. So when the students do lab activities, teachers can watch their skills in action. So for example, teachers can see if students follow the steps correctly or making good observations and analyze results well. This hands-on assessment gives teachers important information about each student's understanding and skills. Also, lab work allows students to show what they know in practical ways, and also providing they can connect what they've learned to real life situation. So by assessing students through lab work, teachers can find out where students might need more help and support their learning better. Number 15, we have cultivating a scientific mindset. So doing laboratory work helps students develop a scientific mindset, which includes curiosity, asking questions, and finding answers based on evidence. So in the laboratory, students become curious about how things work and why certain results happen, which encourages them to experiment and explore more. They learn to ask questions like, what if I change this? Or why did this happen? Instead of just accepting information as it is. So the laboratory work also teaches them to depend on evidence when making conclusion. So they collect data from their experiments and analyze it to support their ideas. So this process makes them better problem solvers and critical thinkers. Okay, so let's go to the last part of the objectives of the laboratory method before we proceed to the next topic. So we have number 16, which is the preparation for future careers. So laboratory experience are important for students who wants to have careers in science, engineering, medicine, or related fields. So in this hands-on experiences help students learn useful skills and gain knowledge that will help them in their future jobs. So when students work in laboratory, they get to use real equipment and tools, giving them a feel for what it likes to work in a professional setting. So they learn how to conduct experiments, collect data, and analyze results, which are important skills in many careers. So for example, a student who wants to become a doctor will benefit from lab work that teaches them how to conduct experiments related to health and medicine. Additionally, lab experiences help students learn how to work as part of a team, solve problems, and think critically. So these skills are highly valued in the workplace because many jobs require teamwork and good communication. So now that we are done with the objectives of laboratory method, so now let's proceed to the characteristic of the project method. So project method is an instructional approach that involves students working on extended, often interdisciplinary projects to explore and understand specific topic or problem. So this means that it emphasizes active learning, critical thinking, and practical application. So it not only promotes deep understanding and critical thinking, but also nurtures skills that are valuable in the modern world, such as collaboration, creativity, and problem solving. So now let us proceed to our main topic, which is the characteristics of the project method. So we have here number 1, inquiry-based learning. Inquiry-based learning is very important. So this means that students begin their learning by asking questions or exploring topics that interest them. So these questions are often lead to open-ended problems or the challenges that don't have simple answers. So to solve these problems, students need to investigate and research. So this means gathering information from different sources, analyzing what they find, and coming up with solution or explanation based on their research. So number 2, we have long-term and sustained effort. So projects take a long time to complete, not just a day. So these activities can last for days, weeks, or even months. This longer time allows students to really explore their topic, and it also gives them the chance to think carefully about what they are learning, makes improvement, and reflect on how they are doing. So number 3, we have real-world relevance. So in here, projects are often connected to real-world issues, which makes learning more meaningful and useful. So when the students work on projects that related to real-life situation, they can see how what they are learning in school applies outside the classroom. So this makes the lessons more practical and helps students understand how they can use their knowledge to solve real problems in their communities or the world. So this real-world connection makes the learning experience more engaging and relevant to students' lives. Number 4, we have interdisciplinary approach. So in here, interdisciplinary approach means that projects often involve more than one subject or area of study. Instead of focusing on just one topic like math or science, students work on project that combines different subjects. So for example, a project could include elements of history, writing, science, and art all at once. So this encourages students to make connections between different areas of knowledge, helping them see how students are related and how they can use skills from one area to understand another. So in this approach, this makes learning more well-rounded and prepares students to solve complex problems by thinking from multiple perspectives. Number 5, we have student-centered. So student-centered approach means that students are in charge of their own projects. So they have the responsibility to make decisions, set their own goals, and plan how the projects will move forward. Well, the teacher is there to guide and support them. It's the students who take ownership of the process. So this gives students the freedom to explore their interest, work at their own pace, and develop important skills like decision making, planning, and self-management. So by being in control, students become more engaged and invested in their learning. So number 6 is collaboration. So collaboration means that students work together in groups, so they share tasks and learn from one another. By teaming up, students can use their different skills and ideas to solve problems. So this teamwork helps them communicate better and learn how to work together. It also makes the learning experience more enjoyable as they support each other and share different viewpoints. Number 7, hands-on and active learning. So hands-on and active learning means that students do real activities instead of just listening to the teachers or reading books. Projects allow students to use what they've learned to solve problems, create things, or reach goals. So for example, they might do experiments, build models, or help in their communities. So this kind of learning makes school more fun and helps students understand better because they are actually involved in the work. So by doing real tasks, They can see how their efforts make a difference and learn important skills. Number 8 is problem solving. Problem solving is very important. Projects usually focus on a main problem or a big question that students need to answer. As they work on their projects, students think critically about the problem and look for solutions. This means they ask questions, come up with ideas, and try different ways to find the best answer. By solving problems, students learn to think clearly and creatively, which help them develop skills they can use in real life. Number 9 is in-depth exploration. So this means that students look closely at a topic. So they spend time researching, gathering information, and collecting facts to understand it well. These deeper studies help them learn not just the basic ideas but also the important details. So by exploring a topic thoroughly, students get a better understanding of how everything connects, making their learning more meaningful. Number 10, we have assessment of multiple skills. So assessment of multiple skills means that teachers check many different skills to see how well students are doing. So instead of only testing what students know, they look at skills like research, presentation, teamwork, critical thinking, and communication. So in this way, teachers can understand how well students are growing in different areas and ensure they are learning important skills for the future. Number 11, we have reflection and self-evaluation. So reflection and self-evaluation mean that students think about their own learning. They take time to look back on what they did during the project and what they learned. Students also keep track of their progress to see how much they have improved. They also assess how well they did and find areas where they can get better. So this helps students understand what they are good at and what they need to work on, allowing them to learn and grow from their experiences. Number 12, we have teacher as facilitator. So the teacher acts as a facilitator. This means that instead of only lecturing, the teacher also helps students with their projects by providing guidance, resources, and also support. So they keep students focused. They offer help when needed and also check the final results of the project. So this way, teachers support students in their learning while encouraging them to take charge of their own work. Number 13, we have presentation and communication. So presentation and communication are key parts of the projects. So at the end, students share what they learned or created through presentation or reports. So this means that they explain their findings and solution to an audience, which can be their classmates or even people from their community. Sharing their work helps the student practice their communication skills and allows others to learn from what they did. And also, it gives students a chance to show what they have accomplished and get feedback. Number 14, autonomy and responsibility. So autonomy and responsibility means that students have a lot of freedom to manage their own projects. This encourages them to take charge of their learning and be responsible for their work. With this independence, students decide how to complete the project, set their own goals, and find solutions to problems. This ownership helps them learn important skills like self-discipline and accountability as they plan, organize, and follow through on their task. Number 15, we have individual and group projects. So individual and group projects. Usually, projects are done in groups, which helps students work together and learn from one another. But individual projects are also important because they let students focus on their own interests and goals. This way, each student can work at their own speed and show what they've learned in a way that fits them best. So both styles of projects help meet different learning needs and make the learning experience more personal. So for the last number 16, which is the applicability. In the project method, applicability means that the project students work on result in real products or solution that can be used in the real world. This helps students see how useful their learning is. So by making something that can solve a problem or has a purpose outside of school, they understand the value of what they are learning. This link to real life situation makes learning more meaningful and encourages students to use their knowledge in everyday life. So that's all for my part, and thank you for listening.